Hi everybody, and welcome to Together in Style, a show about celebrating life and style. And we're on day 2 of our British Virgin Islands sailing vacation. And you know, Jen, we've gone to the British Virgin Islands 7 years with our family and have had some romantic time there as well. Tell me a little bit about, what it's like when you first arrive.
Well, you know, it's so funny because I think that before you make these plans, you're just envisioning what type of boat that you're going to have and where you're going to go and how is this going to happen. And I think that every boater, whether they choose to have a monohull or a catamaran, thinks about how am I going to get this out of the slip, and that's always a big deal.
Yes, that's my number one worry. You know, once you get out on the water, not so much, but pulling that big boat out of the slip is not the most fun experience all the time. But I tell you, what I love about the monohull, or I should say catamaran versus the monohull, is that there's an engine on the right hull, an engine on the left hull, and so you can take and put one in forward, one in reverse, and the catamaran turns on a dime. And there's some other benefits to a catamaran as well. You know, just simply put, if you have a soda out on, a table, even out there you're going through the waves, it's not going anywhere. They're very stable.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the experience of having both the catamaran and the monohull, and we take family each time, which is truly special. So it's an incredible family vacation. But we normally or generally have a lot of family with us, so it's great to have the space. And for people who enjoy to sail and may get a fantastic buzz out of leaning to the side the entire time and making the boat go as fast as it can. Others of us may just enjoy the cool, idea that the wind is taking us from place to place, and the catamaran is fantastic for that because it just rolls over the waves.
It does, and it's nice because if you do happen to anchor or pick up a mooring in a rougher location or on a rougher evening, the ground swells are not as painful to sleep at night. You don't get you don't get nauseated, you don't get seasick as bad.
Well, the reality is too, and you can also bring them so close to shore. So it's very nice.
Yeah, the shallow draft really makes a difference. So, then you have to decide, are you going to provision your boat, split provision it? Meaning, are you gonna have your charter company put food on the boat for you when you arrive? And we always like to do a little bit of split provisioning, have a few things on board when we arrive, but then actually take a drive to the grocery store or catch a taxi to the grocery store and pick out our own things.
Well, I think that, before you do anything, the first time around, we did have everything provisioned for us. And we realized that, we just didn't know what we needed, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
So after experiencing that, and also, going to the island of Tortola, and we realizing that there is fantastic grocery stores that we can get to. So it was nice to know that we could get some local foods that we may not normally get at home, and knowing that we're gonna stop at really cool destinations throughout our day, it was nice to have always some breakfast and lunch aboard.
Yeah, and then you go ashore for the evening to a beach bar or restaurant to have a really fine meal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we enjoy to do it anyway.
So as we head out of Tortola, we typically want to go out and visit a bunch of islands, but one of our favorite stops that's just off of Road Town, the main town in Tortola, is a place called the Indians. It's a rock formation, and therefore there's great coral, great fish, and really good snorkeling. Yeah,
it's fantastic there, and it's a great spot to hang out for the entire day, and knowing that you can anchor right around the corner. My advice is though, in the mornings, get up early and get to your next destination, or plan where you're going to go, and maybe have a stop like this, because you're going to want to spend a couple hours.
You're right, and typically I'm the first one up, starting the boat, getting it ready, and heading out right at sunrise. And I love that because I catch the sunrises. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's nice, you arrive, you go for a swim, hang out, have some lunch, go for a swim again, do some snorkeling, hang out again, and then get to that next little cove.
So speaking of the next little cove, where we're gonna spend our first night is Norman Island and a cove called The Bight. And The Bight's really a fantastic spot because you can anchor if you need to, or you can grab a national park mooring. And There's a beach bar ashore, and there's a fun place that's been there each time we've gone called Willie T's.
Yes, I mean, it definitely was a fantastic spot, and I do hope it's still there. I mean, I haven't been there, last week or anything, but it's a great area just because you do have a couple of different options, and when you're hanging out there, if you want to go have that quintessential fun, I mean, it's a pirate ship, for goodness sakes, out in the Caribbean, so, everybody is just enjoying life, having, those fruity cocktails that you would have.
And if you're Jennifer, you're doing shots off of a water ski.
Okay, well,
amongst others.
I'm not so sure there's any photographs or proof for that.
We'll
but
find
yes,
out. We'll find out.
I definitely tend to let down my hair a little bit when we were in the British Virgin Islands. It was fun. I mean, it was when in Rome. But the thing is that dinner time comes around the corner, and there is usually a nice restaurant or a beach bar.
Yeah,
however,
that has good food.
Yeah, however, you should make reservations beforehand, just because a lot of the islands that we visit don't have people there, all the time. They just...
They go ashore for the day, they do their work, and they go home. Nobody lives on the island.
A lot
sometimes.
of them are national parks.
Yeah. So that's our second day in the British Virgin Islands, and tomorrow we're going to be sailing up to Virgin Gorda and visiting a place called the Baths, and staying the night at a place called Marina Cay.
Yeah, so while you are enjoying and daydreaming of your next vacation, live life together in style.